prepares and checks every single car. That's what makes a Vertu Motors used car so much more than an ordinary one. Experience this on the phone, online, or with a video appointment. Because at Vertu Motors, it's all in the detail. A car designer cares about even the tiniest detail, which surely should be matched by the way a retailer selects, prepares and checks every single car. That's what makes a Vertu Motors used car so much more than an ordinary one. Experience this on the phone, online, or with a video appointment. Because at Vertu Motors, it's all in the detail. A car designer cares about even the tiniest detail, which surely should be matched by the way a retailer selects, prepares and checks every single car. That's what makes a Vertu Motors used car so much more than an ordinary one. Experience this on the phone, online, or with a video appointment. Because at Vertu Motors, it's all in the detail. A car designer cares about even the tiniest detail, which surely should be matched by the way a retailer selects, prepares and checks every single car. That's what makes a Vertu Motors used car so much more than an ordinary one. Experience this on the phone, online, or with a video appointment. Because at Vertu Motors, it's all in the detail. car designer cares about even the tiniest detail, which surely should be matched by the way a retailer selects, prepares, and checks every single car. That's what makes a Vertu Motors used car so much more than an ordinary one. Experience this on the phone, online, or with a video appointment. Because at Vertu Motors, it's all in the detail.
Well, good evening everybody and welcome to the Vertu Motors Arena for tonight's WBBL clash between the visiting Caledonia Gladiators and the hometown Newcastle Eagles. Eagerly awaited clash between two teams who haven't seen each other since the first day of the season when the Gladiators won 75-44, but they were two totally different teams to the two that line up tonight. And of course the Caledonia Gladiators, they're in the top four with a 9-2 record. Eagles currently in 7th position with a 6-7 record. As ever, sitting alongside me, my co-commentator Dave Elligan. Good evening, Dave, and your first thoughts.
Yeah, well, you mentioned the sort of win-loss record. More recently, it looks quite a bit more encouraging for the Eagles. They've run 3 of their last 5 games. Gladiators have been in a slightly better form than 4 of their last 5 games. I think the Eagles have improved, and it's a lot down to the recovery from injuries, giving them a much settled roster. I mean, it's impossible to talk about Caledonia without giving them all our admiration they deserve for showing that the London Lions are human after all. Thought that was an absolutely terrific win for them. They've got a potentially impact from injury on that team with Tay Adams. She brings a lot to the team. 25 minutes, 11 points, 4 assists and 5 rebounds, and I thought she had a particularly good game when they played at Durham. But surprisingly, their one loss out of those 5 games has been against Durham, and not only that, Durham took them close more recently, just a 3-point loss up in Glasgow.
And you've been to Durham this afternoon, Dave, showing your dedication to the sport.
Yeah, thoroughly enjoyable game. Essex Rebels had hopes for top 4 finish. Durham were by far the better team, and even without El Endershot, and I thought that two players really stood out. Won't surprise you, one was Harriet Otterwald-Sidley, and the one, please all Eagles fans, Ori had a fantastic game.
Yeah, fantastic to hear that. And of course, we have got a returning Eagle tonight in the visiting side, and their starting lineup is number 4, Robin Lewis, number 21, Abby Wolf, and that returning ex-Eagle, number 22, Chantel Handy, and then we've got number 27, Zoe Sharp, and number 41, Jamila Thompson. Now it's the Eagles starting 5 where the surprise is, Dave, and a huge surprise this one as well. So if we go with the 4 we were probably expecting, which is number 2, Maggie Justinak, number 5, Marina Fernandez, number 32, Katie Nolan, and number 35, Antoinette Lewis, and number 6, Millie Oates.
Well, you know, it probably, I have to be honest and say it was a surprise, but be interesting to see how she plays.
Chris Dodds is about to put the ball up. It does go up. Antoinette Lewis got it. Chantel Handy normally picked it up. And Marina Fernandez shoots the 3. 2-4. Katie Nolan doing what Katie Nolan does. Offensive rebound, but she couldn't get the put back. And we're off to a frenetic start.
Well, I was surprised at that tip-off. It looked at one stage as though Chantel Handy was going to get an assist for giving the Eagles a basket.
So Lewis into Thompson.
What
Thompson,
a pass.
Fantastic pass by Thompson. The big for Caledonia, and a great cut by Handy, and that's 2 points to the Gladiators to get us off and running.
Yeah, that was an absolutely, you got it spot on there, Jeff. Absolutely fantastic curl cut behind the defence. Should still have been picked up, but it was a great executed cut.
Down to 5 seconds on the shot clock. Fernandez, that's a nice pass as well, but Net Lewis can't make it. He's going to have to put it up. 24-second violation because Net Lewis's shot didn't hit the rim.
Well, you got to remember that in that matchup there, Antoinette Lewis is going against Jamila Thompson, who looks a pretty good 6'4". Got at least a couple of inches there on Antoinette, probably more.
Thompson with the ball, gives it to Wolf. Here's Handy.
2 big forwards in Thompson
pass.
and Wolf, yeah.
There's Thompson going hard at the basket, but that's no good. I
don't know whether that was a
pass
shot,
or a shot, yeah.
or an intended pass for Wolf.
The long pass by Fernandez. Net Lewis can't take it in. Eagles a little bit of a ragged start on offense.
Yeah, you want to be adventurous at the start, but you also want high percentage stuff. And high percentage stuff is not just about shooting; it's about passing as well.
Yes, Thompson. She's not going to shoot the three, is she? She's been offered it. It's a long two in the end, and it doesn't go in. Wolf chases a rebound down. Lewis drives to the basket. Up it goes, no good. Katie Nolan takes the rebound. Maggie Justanak with the ball. Justanak into Nolan again. Kicked out to Fernandez. Fernandez shoots the three again, and this time she makes it. 1 or 2 from Marina Fernandez to give the Eagles a 1-point lead.
The thing that surprises me about Marina Fernandez is watching her shoot there. That was great form. Is why her percentage isn't higher.
Now you were talking about a good percentage shooter, Chantal Handy from the corner.
She cannot leave her that wide open on the wing.
She shoots it at nearly 37%. One of the leaders in the WBBL.
She's got a high release, very difficult to block. So you've got to close her down.
Justanak did well to get to the charity stripe there. Nice curl round, but a 2-point shot was no good. Interesting that Caledonia look as if they've made a slight switch already, because Robin Lewis it was who brought the ball up the first 2 or 3 offenses, and now it seems to be Zoe Sharp.
Yeah, well, Joy Sharp's a competent ball handler. I've seen her play several times this season. Now, that is great refereeing, because Chantal made contact, but it didn't impede the player at all. I love that refereeing, Mr. Dodds.
Well, as long as we keep that sort of referee. Oh, that's a great pass inside by Fernandez. And that time it is a foul.
Makes it 1-1, Jeff, but 2-0 to you. Because that's twice you've called 2 great cuts.
It's not just the cut is great, isn't it, Dave? But it's also the vision to see it.
It's even more important than that. The cut opens up an opportunity for a shooter as well.
Yeah. Justanak at the line after the foul by Sharp.
I've always said that the British game needs a lot more inside-outside plays.
Justanak levels the game.
And there's plenty of good inside players here tonight. Wolf, Thompson, Antoinette Lewis, Chloe.
Katie Nolan.
Yeah, Katie Nolan. And if they're getting the ball inside, defense has to drop and respect them. Any outside pass creates an even better opportunity for them inside. What a quick, lovely pass from Maggie Justanak.
What a block as well by Katie Nolan.
Yeah.
She's like Hadrian's Wall the way she stood there. Oh, nice pass again. Oh, well, referee's definitely letting things go at the moment.
Yeah. I would have to say Sharp maybe got away with one then, but I tell you what, she took a really good position and very quickly. And Sharp's not the tallest player.
Handy for 2. And that corner 3 that I called before was actually given as a 2, so she must have just had a foot on the line. 4 points personal for Chantal Handy. First 4 minutes of this game just seems to have flashed by. Fernandez into Nolan. Nolan going against Wolf. Can't get the shot off.
Yeah, talking about Chantal, it's a bit of a disappointment in some ways, but that she's played abroad for so many years with such great distinction, and when she comes back she's north of the border, but good luck to her, and she deserves whatever she gets because she's been a tremendous servant to the women's game.
Really good player for Great Britain as well.
Yeah.
Great Britain women who had qualified for the Euros after a fantastic performance a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, and also, think about the commitment she made to the Commonwealth Games.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Good block there by Lewis, who was all over Justanak.
Lewis Thompson, to me is a great guard. She's all action, always.
Never stops, does she?
Yeah.
Turns the corner here, looking for a pass.
Yeah, at the moment, Wolf's not really been a part of this game, but I tell you what, she was a huge part of that win against London.
That was an amazing game, wasn't it? Absolutely amazing game. I sat and watched that and couldn't believe what I was watching, but these lines are supposed to be unbeatable. Yeah, this time Chantal Handy is called for the foul, hand check. Timeout called by Caledonia Gladiators. That's interesting.
My only thought was a word you just mentioned. They've not got very good spacing, and I don't think they're giving Wolf the space she needs to play inside, because she gets the ball inside there, she's pretty dominant. Chantel's just patting Thompson on the bum just to say, look, don't worry, coach has got to make sure we're doing all things right, and our job is to get on with the game.
Millie Oates has come out and Chloe Gaynor has gone in, so the big lineup's in now for the Eagles.
I mean, we're over halfway. What's the Eagles' percentage looking like at the moment? Because I have a feeling that the Caledonia defence is doing a pretty good job against their scoring efforts.
You're absolutely spot on, Dave, as always. 1 of 8 they are.
Yeah.
Eagles. And that'll make a 1 of 9.
Yeah, and I think if it hadn't been for our production team behind us, I don't think they'd have got that shot off.
There's Lewis to Wolf.
Again, they need to clear out now and get Wolf inside, but she's still holding that high spot.
Lewis turns the corner. Hardy, yes, Thompson. That was a loose pass.
Yeah, I think that pass actually came in from Sharp, Jeff.
Yeah.
Handy was doing a really good. What, you remember that curl she made at the start of the game?
Lewis was going to go for the reverse, but Thompson got a hand in and knocked it away.
Yeah, I think she made a lot of contact with the body, which is probably why Antoinette lost the ball. But at the moment, Antoinette's not really been a factor in this game, so we need for that to happen. I was just going to say, Wolf is not shy about putting up the shot if you leave her that wide open.
Missed the shot though, and Net Lewis took the rebound. Fernandez, a nice pass by Katie Nolan. Chloe Gaynor, who's shot more outside shots so far this season than I think I've ever seen in her career. Just a knock for 3 is just short. Eagles 2 offensive rebounds. And this time it's Chloe Gaynor who drives in off Lewis's pass, knocks it down, and it's 6 points all.
Nice cut, nice inside field, but a lovely little runner for the float at the finish.
Caledonia preparing a couple of substitutes, but meanwhile Zoe Sharp from the corner from Chantel Handy's pass is a 3-point effort, and in it goes.
That's pretty disappointing, because that was just a bog standard 2-man passing game that the Eagles closed down 9 of them.
Fernandez now looking to reply for Newcastle. Net Lewis goes in, but that's a block by Abby Wolf. Jump ball called right on a 24-second buzzer as well. And in fact, they're going to have a discussion as to whether the 24-second buzzer went. It's Caledonia ball anyway. Zoe Sharp and Jamila Thompson come out. So Patricia Elias and Erin McGarrigan in.
Let's just say there was 1 second on that clock and the jump ball's called. And if the arrow had pointed to the Eagles, that would have been it. Just 1 second to play, is that right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Because there hadn't been a change in the possession. Nice pass by Handy. McGarrigan straight into the game, straight into the paint, straight into the basket. 11-6. Nice pass, nice curl, just a knack. But the Caledonian defense has been really good so far.
Trademark pull-up drive jump shot by Justanak, didn't quite drop.
They haven't given them Eagles anything easy at all. Eagles defense has been pretty good as well, but they've just got 1 or 2 better possessions.
It's good you mentioned that, because Nolan's doing a pretty good job at the minute, being physical on Wolf.
McGarrigan though, she's having a great season, and she's knocked down 2 shots in a very short space of time. Net Lewis comes off. Courtney Klassen comes on. Well, the Eagles changing it back around again.
I think that sub was necessary just to change the balance a little bit. Oh. Administration gone wrong.
Yeah, so Chris Dodds is saying that the referees won't allow the substitution at this moment because it was done without their approval. So he stopped the game, and now it has been done with their approval. Meanwhile, Zoe Sharp has nipped back in, and Chantel Handy's took a seat. Well, it's all sorted out, I think.
Well, it's interesting that Coach Ortega's talking to Chantel, because one thing about Chantel, she's got all the attributes of the player. She's also a very good communicator.
One of those players I think could make a good coach, Dave.
Yeah.
Great spin move by Katie Nolan, gets under the basket and lays it in for two. Inside the final minute of the first quarter. I don't know where that 10 minutes has gone, to be perfectly honest. 13-8 to the visitors. Lewis back to McGarrigan. Is she going to go make it 6 points personal? No, she's going to throw it out. And, I think it was Elias from the corner, was it? Yep. Didn't make the three, and the Eagles come away with the ball. 30 seconds. Just that going hard. Off the window for two. Cuts it to three. Will Caledonia hold for one shot? The way Lewis is going, it looks as if it's just going to... Oh, great defense by Marina Fernandez. Eagles have got 10 seconds here. Nice pass. Chloe Gaynor tries to get the runner going, didn't make it. And that ends a fairly breathless first quarter. It's 13-10 to the Gladiators.
Well, I think we did a fair share of singing the praises of the Gladiators' defensive efforts, but I tell you what, Katie Nolan is giving Wolf a hard time.
Both ends of the floor.
Yep.
So 13-10. Eagles no fouls in the first quarter. Caledonia only the two. One for Handy and one for Sharp.
The difference in the score, to me, is just hitting those, was it a couple of three-pointers, the knockdown?
Yeah, one was given. I think one was given us a two.
One given a two, was
yeah,
it?
but the two long shots is what you're on about.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Because Zoe Sharp knocked one down, did you? And then, of course, Erin McGarrigan, who is the Gladiators captain, coming off the bench to great effect to pick up 4 points straight away.
Yeah, it's almost as though the Eagles didn't mark her out as priority in terms of defensive attention, but she's got loose twice, if not three times, from the head of the key into the centre of the inside area, completely unopposed.
She's playing 29 minutes a game and she's averaging 14.4 points and 5.5 rebounds and a couple of assists a game. I think she's having a really, really top season. She leads the Gladiators in scoring.
I mean, what I'm surprised about, Jeff, and it's I think there's a simple reason why, is nearly all British, the Gladiators, yet before this game tonight I had hardly heard of most of them. And when I came here just over a week ago to watch GB play Belgium, and GB were going with that sort of new player policy, had not heard of any of those new players, where they played or anything. And I think the simple reason is it's very difficult to follow junior basketball, because a lot of those have developed over here and then haven't they gone overseas or to college in the States. And that's how you don't recognise them.
Eagles inbound and get us underway in the second quarter with Fernandez, Katie Nolan. Yeah, no shot clock. So it's 9:54, so that by my reckon means the 6 seconds got on if it yet has been. Yeah, thank you.
What you're saying is your maths is better than the tables.
Well, better than the scoreboard. I'm not going to show you who's on the table. So, Eagles back on the way, 10 seconds on the shot clock. Chloe Gaynor spins past one way, spins to the McGarrigan, no, stands firm, and rips the ball away. Wolf gets it to Elias. Here's Lewis. McGarrigan again. Abby Wolf goes to the charity stripe and is able to knock down the two.
Yeah, think of the London games when I saw live against Durham and another game I've watched her. You can't leave her alone in that area.
Zoe Willis in the first minutes of the game into Katie Nolan.
Great battle between Wolf and Nolan.
Hand check by Zoe Sharp, I believe. That's her second foul. But she's doing well. There's only 3 fouls in the game. She's got 2 of them. Fernandez. Back to Chloe Gaynor from the elbow. It's no good. Ball bouncing around. You see this battle between Wolf and Nolan is superb to watch. Chloe Gaynor tries to come at Noella Cachera, telling her players to calm down, take it easy. Lewis, McGarrigan, Elias turn down the 3. Give it back to Wolf. Back, whoa, the ball is flying all over the place here. McGarrigan in again, but doesn't make it.
That's becoming a familiar feature of McGarrigan's game, driving into that centre of the key.
Fouled by Zoe Willis in the act of shooting. She'll go to the line to shoot 2.
Yeah. Garrett, getting in there is getting too easy for me.
So she got an easy, missed the shot, and then Gladiators were able to recycle and got the ball back to McGarrigan, and she was fouled by Zoe Willis, so she's going to the line to shoot 2 shots. This one is off. It's going to, probably not the first time I mentioned this tonight, Dave, but what a great crowd we've got in tonight.
Superb. Yeah, it's when I first came in, I thought, but it's built up steadily, hasn't it? And it's a very good crowd.
The Eagles were saying they'd sold nearly 400 tickets for this game. That's fantastic for a WBBL game.
It's always that edge, isn't it, to England-Scotland thing?
Yes.
It's always, when the Eagles play the Gladiators as well.
Just that turns the corner. Travel. Good call.
So that's interesting. Robin Lewis goes to the bench. Sharp's not on, so who's going to play a point? Answer, number 23.
Patricia Elias, sorry.
Yeah.
Well, she can play a point all night for the Eagles if that's how she's going to pass the ball. Courtney Klassen. Nice pass back. I don't know if she was aiming for net Lewis.
No, but I'm going to tell you why I was so excited then.
Great pass in by Justin Ack. Lewis strong inside for 2.
Great use of the body to protect the ball there from Antoinette Lewis.
Here's Elias. Sharp. Into Wolf. Wolf, nice pass to McGarrigan. Good cut by McGarrigan again, and she's lighting it up at the moment.
Well, Wolf as well, watching that London game, you'd be forgiven me thinking she's totally about inside scoring. Tonight she's pulling up, shooting from outside, sort of 15 foot. She's also thrown some great inside feeds.
Courtney Klassen with a really neat piece of play there. She took the shot from the elbow, it missed, but she knew almost as soon as she released it, it was going to miss, and she followed it up and got her own rebound and scored. McGarrigan's in there again.
Now, did Lewis get a piece of Wolf's shot there?
I think she probably did, yeah. But McGarrigan was alive to the rebound.
She's getting a lot. She's been left alone far too much for my liking.
Just a little 2-point jumper, doesn't make it. Another great offensive ball by Nat Lewis. Back to Zoe Willis for 3. That almost went in, but it didn't.
Good effort, right to take the shot. She was well set. Nice catch and shoot technique.
Sharp, McGarrigan again. She clearly fancies this tonight is Erin McGarrigan. Missed the shot though, but got her own rebound. 3-point shot from Elias had to go up because the buzzer was going to go. Zoe Willis, Courtney Klassen, Chloe Gaynor into Lewis, kicks it out to Klassen, Klassen for three. Oh, that looked good in the air, but didn't make it.
I know, but I was excited. We'll get time to talk about it eventually. It's a bit like you trying to come in with a fab story last night.
Right, yeah, it took us 4 times, didn't it? Yeah. There's Abby Wolf.
Good inside feed, but even better defense from Justinak. And there she goes again. She's so good at that drive and pull up.
Shots just not dropping for either side at the moment. Richard Bland's going to get cold. I think she's been sitting in the subs chair for about a minute. Well, you know who's just scored again. Great pass from Chantel Handy. And Erin McGarrigan, I think she's up to double figures now.
This girl's causing too much damage. I know why everybody's looking after Wolf and Chantel and all this the other, but in reality...
Foul by Wolf on Lewis as Lewis drove in.
Yeah, McGarrigan's doing the damage, isn't she?
Yep.
It's like Chantel's hurt her fingers or wrist or...
I think it's a timeout for the Eagles. Was it just yeah, the Eagles have called it. I thought they had, so we'll go to an advert.
A car designer cares about even the tiniest detail, which surely should be matched by the way a retailer selects, prepares, and checks every single car. That's what makes a Vertu Motors used car so much more than an ordinary one. Experience this on the phone, online, or with a video appointment. Because at Vertu Motors, it's all in the detail.
So yeah, McGarrigan, 11 points from the bench, half of the Caledonian score.
Yeah, very impressive. Driving to the basket, just from a coach's point of view. You love people who can go on a straight line drive, take it all the way and score an easy bucket. But the defense knows that. So what do? They get numbers in the way. Too many players try to force it over those numbers. Next option that's a bad one is try a little short pass. Well, that's too easy for the defense. But when you kick it out like Klassen did, that's almost indefensible, and it was a wide open shot. And then the other thing is, what Justinak's good at, you're driving hard at them, you see them bag it in, just pull up and float it over them.
Yeah. Two good players, but they just didn't quite get the finish that they deserved. Eagles inbound. McGarrigan beat Chloe Gaynor at the ball. Chloe Gaynor saying, if my wrist is as sore as that, she must have slapped it.
Handy's clearly hurt her left hand because it's been bandaged up.
It could be a big miss.
That's a tremendous pass there from Lewis. See what happened?
Yeah, kicked it back out.
Back player backed into another one, slid in to help, and she immediately found the player who was open because of that double team. Tremendous pass from Antoinette Lewis.
Foul was committed though.
Now Gaynor's got them round. That's good play.
Met Lewis all the way to the basket.
All the headlines will be about Lewis's basket, but that was a tremendous pass from Chloe Gaynor.
Sally Campbell, 24's into the game. So that net Lewis went on there. 6-point game, 4:30 to go in the second quarter.
Looks like we've got a little bit of a zone here, or a little bit of press.
And this time the Eagles did allow the pass under the basket, but 2.4 seconds.
That was good ball movement from the Gladiators, so therefore you've got to say that was also a good defense from the Eagles.
They got the shot off, but they didn't make it. And
now you've got two players around you. Bang it out quickly.
held on to it. Foul was called. Now that foul, is that on 24 again? Yeah, it is. Sarah Campbell. Fernandez. Well, Chantal Handy has got her hand tied up, but she's coming back along with Abby Wolf. Next break in play. Sarah Campbell and Patricia Elias come out.
Well, it's very competitive, and that last interception by the Gladiators enforces that point. What I'm surprised about is how the Gladiators have been a sneak away into a 6-point lead. Leaving McGarriger open, I think, too much.
Fernandez misses with the 3-point shot. Back come the Gladiators. McGarrigan exchanges passes with Sharp. Holds for Lewis. Handy from difficult angle. When I watch Chantal Handy do that, I wonder why she doesn't shoot more often.
Yeah.
She seems to very rarely miss. Rachel Bland obviously in the game now. Should have mentioned that.
So ball went inside to Lewis, out to Bland, out to Fernandez. By now, Lewis is wide open in the middle because they're having to recover on those two perimeter players. The inside-outside game is totally understated in this league.
Lewis at the other end. This time McGarrigan doesn't get the ball, though. 24-second violation. Good defense by the Eagles.
That was the lockdown to the execution of the pass, Jeff, because Garriger made the cut. Bland went with her, and I think it was Lewis who tried to put the inside feed. She threw it to where Bland's side was instead of away from the defensive player.
Eagles down.
Great drive.
Eagles down. We're down by 8. Now 6 again. 24-18. Defense has definitely been on top in this game so far. But that's the look that, Abby Wolf's missed an absolute, what you might almost call a sitter. Great transition basketball by the Eagles. Courtney Klassen from Marina Fernandez's pass. And Miguel Ortega has seen enough. It's within 4 points, 2:21, and we'll go to an advert. So we're back, 2:21 to go, 24 to Caledonia, 20 to Newcastle, and the timeout called by Miguel Ortega. Just probably didn't like the last couple of plays, especially when you lose a ball like that.
One thing he's got to talk about is his transition defense. I mean, that was a fantastic outlet pass, but it was made the way it was because Klassen, head up, break, she was ahead of all of the Gladiators. But somebody on the Gladiators team has to take responsibility for that third part of transition. So the first part is, are you going to jam the rebound? Are you going to jam the outlet? Second is, where has the outlet gone to? But the third thing is, which is absolutely vital, is you get people back so there's no layup.
So Lewis with the ball, brings it over halfway. And kicks it out to McGarrigan. Marina Fernandez, hands in the lane. I was just going to say, if the Eagles conceded points there, they really didn't deserve it to. Defense by Marina Fernandez is excellent. Good steal by McGarrigan, which has lost the handle. Klassen gets it out.
Another good outlet. This time, Klassen was the instigator. Last time, she was the person who was going off to the races down ahead of the defense. Klassen's playing some useful minutes, I think, Jeff.
Yeah, looks obviously getting fitter and stronger every week. Lewis goes inside and she's fouled. Foul is on Erin McGarrigan.
Yeah, I mean,
tough to stop when she's in that road.
Yeah, Coach Kashiro pointing out, I think, I may be wrong, and I'm not going to be critical here, that Antoinette had a very difficult shot, whereas one of the shooters had drifted to the corner wide open. But Antoinette executed that, I thought, quite well, and she just deserts at the charity stripe, but
missed the first.
Yeah, not making them pay the full price.
50% bargain bucket. 3-point ball game now. Eagles looking for a stop. Gladiators looking for a score. Lewis guarded superbly by Klassen, and it got across and forced the turnover. Fernandez in, and that's that pass out, as you said.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it didn't go for them.
And I don't blame Katie Nolan for 1 second for taking it, because it was good, wide open, catch and shoot, make the defense respect you.
Good hustle by Lewis. Oh. Robin Lewis fell asleep there.
Completely lost sight, didn't she, of
Rachel Bland.
Yeah.
And it's a 1-point ball game now. Handy, nice pass in. McGarrigan pass out. Here's Lewis for 3. He's off. McGarrigan gets in for the rebound, and a reverse layup is good. She's been the star.
She continues to do damage.
13 points personal. Possibly 2 more offenses in this half. Eagles down by 3. They'll want to score, get it back again. Fernandez trying to get past Sharp. Klassen to Fernandez. Only 5 seconds on the shot clock. He's got to put up. Rachel Bland does put the 3 up and nails the 3-pointer, and will level with 10 seconds left in the period. Just enough time for Caledonia to get a shot off, but they've turned it over once again. Fernandez throws it from above, and we are where we are. We started at 0-0 level, and we're now level at 26-26 as we go into the locker rooms. What a great comeback by the Eagles.
Well, that scoreline is absolutely right, because that's what it feels like. It feels like a very close game. I don't think either team, they've all had little bits of advantage here there, but it's been a pretty even game. Well done to the Eagles for pulling it back there, justly deserved, and it's been a really good half of basketball. Fascinating second half to come.
We'll have some stats for you in about 10 minutes time or so before the second half gets underway, but as Dave says, an excellent first half of basketball here in the WBBL, and the scoreline 26 to the Newcastle Eagles, 26 to Caledonia Gladiators. Which way will it go in the second half? Well, if you join us on WBBL YouTube, you'll find out.
A car designer cares about even the tiniest detail, which surely should be matched by the way a retailer selects, prepares, and checks every single car. That's what makes a Vertu Motors used car so much more than an ordinary one. Experience this on the phone, online, or with a video appointment. Because at Vertu Motors, it's all in the detail. A car designer cares about even the tiniest detail, which surely should be matched by the way a retailer selects, prepares, and checks every single car. That's what makes a Vertu Motors used car so much more than an ordinary one. Experience this on the phone, online, or with a video appointment. Because at Vertu Motors, it's all in the detail. A car designer cares about even the tiniest detail, which surely should be matched by the way a retailer selects, prepares, and checks every single car. That's what makes a Vertu Motors used car so much more than an ordinary one. Experience this on the phone, online, or with a video appointment. Because at Vertu Motors, it's all in the detail. A car designer cares about even the tiniest detail, which surely should be matched by the way a retailer selects, prepares, and checks every single car. That's what makes a Vertu Motors used car so much more than an ordinary one. Experience this on the phone, online, or with a video appointment. Because at Vertu Motors, it's all in the detail. A car designer cares about even the tiniest detail, which surely should be matched by the way a retailer selects, prepares, and checks every single car. That's what makes a Vertu Motors used car so much more than an ordinary one. Experience this on the phone, online, or with a video appointment. Because at Vertu Motors, it's all in the detail. A car designer cares about even the tiniest detail, which surely should be matched by the way a retailer selects, prepares, and checks every single car. That's what makes a Vertu Motors used car so much more than an ordinary one. Experience this on the phone, online, or with a video appointment. Because at Vertu Motors, it's all in the detail. A car designer cares about even the tiniest detail, which surely should be matched by the way a retailer selects, prepares, and checks every single car. That's what makes a Vertu Motors used car so much more than an ordinary one. Experience this on the phone, online, or with a video appointment. Because at Vertu Motors, it's all in the detail.
Okay, so we're back at the Metro Radio Arena, the Vertu Motors Arena. Never done that for a long time.
1995, I think it was.
26-26, and we've only got one stat sheet between us, Dave, so would you like to tell me what you've seen on the stat sheet, because you've had it?
Yeah, sorry I didn't share it with you.
That's all right, that's not a problem.
Clear advantage in terms of shooting percentage. Eagles shooting 31%. That clear advantage with the Gladiators at 44. A little bit of an edge on rebounding. Gladiators 20 to the Eagles 17. Only a slight advantage on assists. that's where I think it's been a pretty even game in ball movement. 8 to the Gladiators, 7 to the Eagles. But what 3 interesting stats that tell you why the Eagles got back in this game. Points from turnovers, 6-2 in favour of the Eagles. Points in the paint, 18-14 in terms of, now you wouldn't think that, would you, with Wolf in the other team, but it's a fact that the stats show points in the paint, 18-14. Advantage with the Eagles on fast break, but they've only scored 3. But the amazing thing is, Caledonia have scored 0 points in transition on the fast break.
Wow, that is an amazing stat, isn't it? The other one I was looking at, Dave, was the steals. Eagles have got 11 steals and Gladiators only got 2.
Yeah.
And the individual scorers, Erin McGarrigan's come off the bench, played 12-22. It's interesting because she only played 2:22 in the first quarter, but she played the whole of the second quarter. She has 13 points and also 5 rebounds. Chantel Handy having a really good all-round game, 8 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. And they're the main 2 scorers for the Gladiators. In fact, the only really 2 scorers. Eagles top scorer Fernandez has 5, Lewis has 5, Bland has 5, and Klassen has 4. Also along with that is Katie Nolan has 4 rebounds and 2 points, and Net Lewis with 5 points, and she's also got 7 rebounds. So Eagles more spread with the scoring. So you could think, well, if the Eagles can stop McGarrigan and Handy, or McGarrigan or Handy, it could be that could be to their advantage. But they've got a lot of weapons, have Caledonia, so somebody else could easily step up.
You know, you start the game with a philosophy. You start the game with working on things that you think, you know, you really need to do. And it took far too long for them to realise the impact McGarrigan was having on this game from the bench. They did eventually realise and tightened up, but I think improved decision making from the Newcastle Eagles saw them get back in this game towards the end of that second quarter.
And we did notice something very, very interesting at half time, and when we get a break in play, I'll mention that and bring Dave in on it. But meanwhile, it's the Gladiators who have got us back underway. Thompson, a nice pass to Wolf. Wolf can't make the basket. Katie Nolan takes her 5th rebound of the game.
Well, that's interesting that they started the second half with something I thought they would have used a lot more of, and that was a high-low play between Thompson and
no,
Wolf.
that was a steal and a half. Completely didn't realise that Patricia Elias really didn't realise Net Lewis was right behind her, and she just took the ball off her hands. But
unfortunately, the layup wasn't as good, was it?
Absolutely. Elias into McGarrigan. Chantel Handy is on the bench with her hand extremely well taped up, and it was actually our coach, Miguel Ortega, who actually did the taping. McGarrigan goes hard, it's going to be a foul by Net Lewis. Now, the point I was going to bring you in on, Dave, and something we noticed was Jamila Thompson didn't go to the locker room with her teammates. She sat on the bench the whole time during the break. And when the players came out, the 2 coaches, coach and assistant coach, completely ignored her, didn't speak. 1 or 2 of her teammates sort of went and put a little arm around her as if to tap her on the shoulder and say, come on, don't worry about it. And then she started the second half.
Well, I think that's the important bit. I think we just leave it there, that she started the second half, and we, don't want to get involved in the internal politics of a team. And she started it quite well, and she did something I thought they'd done a lot more of, and that was going to a high-low situation with Wolf. That could be a potential threat to the Eagles. Well, you talked about McGarrigan playing and getting some points. She did a great defensive job there on Rachel Bland.
But Bland did get a good pass away to Katie Nolan, who was fouled as she tried to make the layup, and she'll go to the line for 2 shots.
And if her free throw through is better than Caledonia's, they'll take the lead. For I believe the first time.
You might well be right. No, Marina Fernandez is 3.
Oh, that's right, the 3 at the start. Yeah.
But that's the only time. Marina Fernandez got the rebound off Katie Nolan's second miss. Rachel Bland does really well. Courtney Klassen realised but couldn't release. Rachel Bland said that one was my fault. I love that stat you came up with last night. I don't think the Eagles did, but when it was a one point game and you said Andres Kapoulis has got 3 options on this. He'll either be 1 point up, 1 point down to level. It was a really good thing to say. As it turned out, he was still in 1 point in front because Kyle Johnson missed both, but that was last night. Back to tonight, and this one's close again.
I want to forget about last night because when the Eagles were 17 up, I thought it was going to be their night.
Offensive rebounds that Nett Lewis and Katie Nolan get is phenomenal. In that time, it was Katie Nolan missing the shot, but Nett Lewis cleaned up and got the points. Eagles in front 29-27. There's Thompson. Throwing the ball straight to Courtney Klassen. And Courtney Klassen is fouled as she goes. Didn't make the layup, so she'll have to go to the line and earn them from the charity stripe.
That was encouraging, Jeff, for a player who's missed so much basketball over the last 2 years. She showed some pretty good acceleration there and breaking away on that for that layup.
Miguel Ortega's done exactly what he did in the first half. Called a timeout, so we'll go to an advert. So 7:57 to go in the third period. Eagles lead by 2 at 29-27. Courtney Klassen going the line with a chance to make it a 4-point game.
Yeah, I mean, the Eagles women are in a slightly better position than the men. The Eagles win a 7th in the league. The Eagles men were 9th. Caledonia and Bristol are in a similar position. That was a great game last night. One we'd hoped that the Eagles would have held out to win. This is a great game today. Just shows, doesn't it? Sometimes there's very little difference between in the WBBL. If you take out London, very little difference between a lot of the teams, and the same in the BBL.
Yeah, I agreed with you, Dave. Courtney Klassen's first one wiped his feet, but decided not to drop.
Well, I'm so pleased for her. She's making a contribution, that's for sure. For somebody who's missed 18 months of basketball with a very serious injury.
Looking stronger every week.
Do you know this high set from the Eagles is bothering Caledonia.
Yeah, and again another steal. Another steal for Nett Lewis. Fernandez looking inside for Nett Lewis. He's looking for Katie Nolan, knocked away by Thompson.
Yeah.
And then knocked away by Thompson's foot.
Well, you got to say both Wolf and Thompson defended that high-low attempt there very well from Lewis and Nolan.
Well, this is interesting. Chantal Handy comes back into the game, and that hand is really taped up a lot. She's ringing it as she comes out as well. It looks to me as if she's holding it a little bit. Tis her left hand, and she is right-handed. No foul given. McGarrigan's going to go hard at the basket. Kicks it out to Elias for 3. Is no good. Katie Nolan grabs the rebound. Eagles forwards having to play a bit of point. Lewis brought the wall up the last offense. This time it was Katie Nolan bringing it up. Fernandez kicks it out to Klassen. Klassen for 3 is just off.
One of the theories about forwards playing point, Jeff, as you pointed out, I think you once made a thing about a point centre, is they're never under as much pressure as guards are when they're bringing the ball up.
That's true. That's very true. So travel called. Justinak comes in for Klassen. Gainer comes in for Bland.
Well, I thought Klassen made a good contribution in that 3 minutes there.
What I really like about Courtney Klassen, she always seems to be smiling as well. Probably because she, been out of the game that long. So pleased to be back.
Yeah, I mean, we were given the hint by our good friends behind us that Abby Lowe might not be playing or wasn't playing in this game. Then she was introduced, and we thought, but so far no minutes.
No, she has suited up, but she's actually not on the score sheet either, Dave. So it does look highly unlikely. McGarrigan, Elias, Wolf. Back to Elias. Another good defensive stand by one of the teams. That shot is behind the basket. Excellent defense by the Eagles once again.
Yeah, the difference there is too many times earlier in the season Antoinette would have put that sort of pressure on and committed a foul, but that was really good D. Kept her under pressure without the foul.
So there's Chloe.
Floated, Zoe. Chloe, floated.
Well,
tell you what, Chloe, kick it out of the wing.
I was going to say, I would totally have agreed with you, but then Marina Fernandez knocked down the 3 and the Eagles lead by 6. McGarrigan trying to find Wolf underneath, couldn't find that. Elias comes out, back into McGarrigan. Oh, foul is called on Katie Nolan. Looks a bit mystified. Out of the cylinder, says referee Dodds. So McGarrigan will go to the line to shoot 2.
Well, the Gladiators bench and any people watching and supporting the Gladiators will be delighted to see that go in because they were in a bit of a slump.
Yep, first one goes in, second one goes in as well. She's up to 15 points personal. Justanak brings it over, tries to get it over, she needs to get it over. Sneaks over just in time. But that's a good hand by Abby Wolf, and that's a foul by Maggie Justanak. Bit of a frustration foul, I think.
I think she will call it taking one for the team.
So first foul. Eagles have actually only picked up 4 fouls in the whole game. There's Wolf, is she going to shoot it? No, she's going to try and force it into Handy. Katie Nolan knocks it away. Chloe Gaynor tidies up. Zoe Willis in the game. There's Nat Lewis, will she go? Yeah, she will go. Great strength, but she can't make the layup. Defense. It's down to 4. Lewis sending Handy away. Not sure Handy's. I'm wondering if she's almost on as a tactical. Oh, McGarrigan again. Wow, 17 points personal. She's definitely the difference at the moment for them.
You know, I was just about to say this is a Rachel Bland moment. We need to put Rachel on her. And sure enough,
8-second call. 8-second call, and number 8's been called. Rachel Bland comes on for Nat Lewis.
And Rachel should go and immediately find their number 14, which she does.
Yep.
And Rachel's main job will be to stop her getting the ball.
Defense.
Having said all that, the Gladiators are creeping back into the game.
Yeah, only 2 points in it now. And they're on offense. Elias goes around the horn. And 24 seconds, they obviously didn't realise that at all. Nobody seemed as if they picked that up at all.
Well, and you know what? That's a major surprise, because if you look at the ends of the floor, the Eagles have been good enough to put 24-second clocks right next where you can't miss them. And she was right next to it when she caught the ball.
Yep, off the 24-second clock goes again. Zoe Willis. Spinning to Rachel Bland. Nice pass into Katie Nolan. Well, sorry, but that was a tough shot, wasn't it?
It was a tough shot, and she had a much easier option with Willis and Gaynor.
Jamila Thompson comes in, Abby Wolf comes out. 1.7 seconds left on the clock. The production team behind us is saying catch and shoot. Sure, the Eagles have seen that. Chloe Gaynor puts it up from way downtown. And it's a 24-second violation. Rachel Bland was cleaned up.
Hurricanes come up with the answer, isn't it, to Rachel Bland's defence. Throw it to the floor.
Nice little handshake between the two, though.
That was good. No ill will meant.
33-31.
Just two women battling out hard, playing tough D against each other.
There's Jamila Thompson. Very reluctant to shoot.
She's not a threat at all, is she?
Robin Lewis. Well, Rachel Bland seems to be wanting to make personal acquaintance with the floor at the moment. Hammer down again, but she's up on her feet and into the offense. Justin Ack going hard. Great pass to Katie Nolan. Katie Nolan makes the bucket.
Justin Ack's furious about being knocked to the floor. Hey, Maggie, take the assist. It was a fantastic assist.
Yeah.
Another good spell for the Eagles, Jeff.
Yeah, and Ortega's taken another timeout, which means he's only got one left for the rest of the game.
A car designer cares about even the tiniest detail, which surely should be matched by the way a retailer selects, prepares, and checks every single car. That's what makes a Vertu Motors used car so much more than an ordinary one. Experience this on the phone, online, or with a video appointment. Because at Vertu Motors, it's all in the detail.
Talking about things happening a bit too early, all the kids have come down for the chuck-a-duck. They've still got 3 minutes 17 to wait.
Yeah.
And they've been shifted back to their seats, trying to get a good spot for that throw.
And I think I'm going to be told off for coming in too early there.
Not from me, on Dave.
Okay.
But the point you made about Andre Capuz absolutely was superb, because, you know, timeouts are funny, aren't they? I mean,
yeah.
You know, you sometimes got a feeling that you need to take one. I was quite surprised to see Ortega take one there, but he obviously had something he wanted to say.
Well, his team are just not playing as well as, you know, he go back to what was it, a week ago, 2 weeks ago, the only team to beat London play, and they deserve to do it, and tonight they don't look quite up to that standard.
It's a foul by Katie Nolan. First Eagle into second foul.
Katie will see the replay of that and realise that she was pushing the player to the side. She had no real need to jump out and make the contact.
Defense. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Thompson, lovely pass, but can't make it.
It's a lovely pass made by a lovely cut from, was it Elias?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sharp coming back in.
Sharp back in, yeah. Robin Lewis, as you said, Dave, always seems to be directing play. Nice shimmy from Rachel Bland to get her past Zoe Sharp. Zoe Willis. Maggie Justanak. Will it be backcourt? Yep, backcourt it is.
Yeah, you know, whether you're in control or not, if the ball goes over the half court like that, then you lose the ball.
Bit of a drought on the scoring at the moment, but Eagles still got that 4-point lead.
Whoa, what two great passes.
Thompson's sort of looking to shoot the ball though, Dave. Oh, that's a great pass though. McGarrigan for 2. Well, if this girl wasn't playing, the Eagles would be winning by...
I'll tell you what, I couldn't agree more.
It's not just the fact that she's...
Well,
another 8-second violation.
Yeah, you could see that happening.
Zoe Willis doesn't look happy about being taken off there, but Marina Fernandez is on. And Marina Fernandez not a natural point guard, but either her or Maggie Justinak has got to take responsibility for the ball when the Eagles are coming on offense, because there are 2 8-second calls. You very rarely get 1 8-second call in the game, let alone 2. Yeah, Thompson tried to force that too much. Justinak to Fernandez. Fernandez lays it in for 2. (37-33) inside the last 2 minutes of the third. No, Jamila Thompson will not shoot the ball. Wolves try to get it in once again, and I'm not so much Eagles stealing it as Caddy has given it away.
That was a turnover. What happened to the bounce pass when a player puts the hand above the head? Oh. Quite sure what's happened there. Just went out of bounds, did it?
Yeah, it was Net Lewis almost got it, but I think she had her foot on the line when she retrieved it. Robin Lewis almost lost the handle there. Here's McGarrigan again, this time to Wolf. Wolf's in for 2. One of the few times that Newcastle have lost her, and she makes them pay.
So a player gets beaten, you need the whole team to rotate, but only one player rotated there, which left Wolf wide open. You know, what's that famous old saying, help the helper?
Net Lewis trying to go to the basket. A lot of errant passes going on at the moment. Oh, Chloe Gaynor. That's a circus shot, Dave. In each other with it. It had to go up, and it did. 39-35. Thompson, we know she's not going to shoot now. McGarrigan will go to the basket if she can. Well, I'm just not quite sure what the Gladiators are trying to achieve here.
Yeah, the Eagles are defending all those high passes really well.
They just keep trying to make them as well. Though.
Absolutely. Don't repeat your mistakes.
Fernandez for 3 is just off, and that's all she wrote for the third quarter. And it's the Eagles on the high side by 4, 39-35. But one suspects that this next 10 minutes is going to bring an awful lot more drama. So Caledonia have scored 35 points, of which Erin McGarrigan has scored 20. Fantastic. Only Eagles playing double figure at the moment is Marina Fernandez on 10. Net Lewis has 7. And Chantal Handy hasn't added to her 8 points at half time. And I'm not sure whether she will or not. That strapping is really a lot of strapping, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, fair enough, but I think let's not overlook the obvious here, that the Eagles have done the homework on the Gladiators, and they're pretty much their game plan is going to according to plan.
So,
you know, they've set up that high-low situation, sometimes with Thompson on the free throw line, sometimes with her out on the wing, and it's not been that productive, has it?
No, and I just, well, I wasn't that much of a basketball player myself. Loved the game, tried to play it, couldn't play it really much. But I tell you what, if I'd been as wide open as Jamila Thompson has been a few times, I think I would have been putting 1 or 2 shots up at the very least.
This is why coaches love what you call a stretch 4 or a stretch 5, you know. I mean, just imagine, you know, whom I'm trying to think of. Some of these five people who play 5 in the NBA, just great shooters.
Yeah.
You can't leave them alone out there. It's, you know, yes, we love the layup, but we also love the three because it helps to make the layup.
The other thing as well about Jamila Thompson not shooting is if the Eagles know she's not going to shoot, it almost gives them an extra person on defense. They can collapse in a little bit more. So,
you think of, you go back to the NBA years ago, Sabonis, the great Russian player who played in the NBA, tremendous passer, never took a shot in his life. You go to today, fast forward, Jokic, tremendous passer, but you can't leave him alone on the three-point line.
Shaw puts up the three, it's off. Courtney Klassen takes the rebound. Every second that goes by with the Eagles in front is a second in bonus. Klassen, what a great bit of play by Klassen there. But Abby Wolf didn't just block that shot, she just took the ball off net, Lewis. There's Thompson.
They're making passes that coach is shrugging his shoulders, he's sending McGarry back in and all this that and the other, and basically they're looking for passes that just aren't there.
Yeah, that's a saying that, you know, I'm just thinking that if Thompson just nails one shot, then suddenly it gives the Eagles a different problem. But at the moment, they're saying, they're trying to make passes which just aren't there. Thompson is now being taken off and McGarrigan comes on.
I mean, to me, one of the great skills in basketball is drive and kick. And there's some being attempted today, but the drive has taken the ball just that little bit too far. Make the pass before the defender's in a position to stop you making the pass.
Fernandez good from the line for the first one. Good for the second. 41-35, a 6-point lead. And in terms of this game, that's massive.
Yeah. Thing about dribble drive is you've got to have players who can make really good decisions to make it work effectively.
Chloe Gaynor gets up, another high pass.
Yeah.
Chantel Hanley pointing to where she wants her players to go. That's a foul by Nat Lewis. Easiest one in the world to call that one. McGarrigan got her up in the air and she came down and bumped into her.
Yeah. Yeah, the old coaching point when you're playing defense, don't let your feet leave the ground.
Only a second foul though on Nat Lewis.
Yeah. It's definitely getting better at putting pressure on people without fouling.
McGarrigan out to Handy, extra pass to Sharp is good, but the three-point shot isn't.
Awesome pass from Chantel.
I think that shows her hand though is bothering her, because I think in normal circumstances she would have probably shot that ball.
Well, she's right-handed though. I don't see why she, unless the left's bothering her so much, she doesn't feel comfortable.
Yeah. Marina Fernandez tries to go through the middle. It's going to be a foul.
I'm not sure about that. I think she just lost control of it.
Yeah.
But referee Dodd's in a much better position than me.
Eagles get the ball into Gaynor. She turns the corner, puts up the shot. Oh, wow. That's two in a row from Chloe Goodham.
It's the third one I've seen today. Half time's coming in the Durham game. Jessica Wayne is going nowhere. Teammates are shouting 5, 4, 3, 2, and on one, she just hurled it up in the air and it went clean as a whistle.
Eagles' defense has been superb today. And there again, fantastic defense from Nat Lewis and Chloe Gaynor. Forces the mistake.
For all the world, I thought Wolf was going to go in there and reverse it in. But she's pushing the pass that's just not there.
.750 to go, 43-35 to the Eagles, and they're on offense. Fernandez Drives hard, kicks it to Klassen. Oh, Klassen almost found Lewis.
She did, didn't she? Yeah, that was a really, really good look.
But travel, yeah, definite travel.
Eight points with 7 minutes to go. You would not normally think, well, on the way on, but just don't see where the Gladiators are going to play like this. Don't see where they're going to get points from.
Yeah. Oh, it's a nice pass in. That's a foul. That's an on one. And that'll help.
Yeah, just at the critical time, the lost position on Wolf.
Fouls on net, Lewis. That's her third.
Well, this is where you talk about a different type of moisture control specialist, Jeff. We're needing moisture control on the ball now. It's been worked so hard. Ball's got a sweat on. Both teams are really working the ball well.
Chloe Gaynor faced by Handy. That's another 8-second violation. That's 3 on the Eagles now.
I'm going to upset some people around us. I don't think that was a foul at all. I thought that was just terrific defence by the Gladiators.
Well, Chantal Handy's played at such a high level for so long. She knows exactly how to pressurise people. There's McGarrigan, kicks it out. Sharp for 3 is too long. I'm not going to say that wasn't a foul, but it was called so late.
It was a bailout because she'd already got her under pressure, and Chloe's got height advantage on her. Come on, Jeff, we'll put the coaching hat on to you now. Don't foul.
The 3-point shooter. Absolutely. Unless she misses all 3. Missed the first. Going for the meatloaf moment. No, it was only 2 shots.
What's that, 2 out of 3 ain't bad?
Yeah.
What a great night. Did you go and see him live at Newcastle
No,
Arena?
Oh,
it was awesome.
Never saw him.
Absolutely brilliant.
Let's go, Eagles! Let's go!
Why would, well, turnover again for the Eagles, but Marina Fernandez didn't even attempt to stop the ball from going out. She couldn't believe it when it wasn't called in her favour. But they're back within 5 now, 43-38, and they're on offense again. There's a steal by Fernandez. Nice pass to Courtney Klassen. Lovely layup by Courtney Klassen.
I don't understand why Coach Ortega's going nuts. But at the end of the day, right, 2 examples in a row. The previous one, was it that Lewis tried to pass? That was way too high. The basic passing skills are letting them. I said, couldn't understand how they're going to get all these points to get back in the game. Just the basic skills are letting them down. Yeah, this has to be a talented team. You think about the way they beat London.
Well, any team that can beat London Lions, WBBL side, has got to be a talented team, but they haven't necessarily shown it tonight. The Eagles have been really tough on defense. 45-38, 7 points and 6 minutes to go. Reversed by Klassen. Lewis is going hard to the basket and lays it in for 2, and that's the biggest lead of the night, 9 points.
Yeah, there are times when Antoinette looks like she's got this lazy gait the way she plays, but when she decides to go to the basket, there's nothing lazy at all about what she does.
Great rebound by Chloe Gaynor. Well, I don't know if I've ever seen that. Somebody goes for a jump ball and just ends up being levered in the air by the opposition player. Wow. For me, that would be a play of the week.
Well, we were talking about how difficult it was going to be for the Gladiators when they were 8 down. They're now 9 down.
And another minute's gone by. Nobody getting free for the Eagles. It's another 8-second call.
Now, that's a little bit of a worry because that is what, the third time? Fourth time. They've been caught out by the
I tell you how,
8 seconds.
tell you how much of a worry that is for me. I don't know if I've seen 4 8-second calls all season any other games.
Well, sure, I've seen 4 8-second calls in the last 2 seasons.
Jump ball. Jump ball, Gladiators ball. 47-38, 5:22 to go. This crowd getting very, very animated and excited. We got the crowd figure at halftime as well, 395.
Excellent.
Superb crowd, really is.
Making your rules up again. This Scottish rules again, lads.
End-line ball. Handy, nice pass into McGarrigan, who's been quiet. And there we go.
Ooh, well. I wasn't sure about that decision, but
Nobody argued.
credit to the 2 officials. The trail official, who had a much better view, gave it the thumbs up.
Chantel Handy for 3 is no good. Courtney Klassen continues to work hard. And this time the Eagles have got the ball over halfway line. 24-second clock is only working on one side. And that's a foul.
Yeah, what happened was when you said it was working, you were right, and then it came in at 20 odd seconds while the other one was at 10, but it's very quickly corrected itself. So, Jeff, in 4 minutes 58, we always talk about it being a long time in basketball, and obviously this timeout's been called by the home coach. Where are the Gladiators going to get the point?
So we've got 4:58 to go. Eagles up by 9. The net Lewis is going to the line to shoot 2, so it could be a double-figure lead. And Miguel Ortega has just burned his 3rd timeout.
So it was him.
Yeah. So he's now got 4:58,
Yeah.
no timeouts left.
Okay, I mean, I was honest enough to make an admission last night when I joined in with Coach Kapoulas by saying I don't understand why this Eagles team is where it is in the league, particularly when I look at the quality of the starting 5. Darius Defoe off the bench, Jermaine Kennedy I've seen play well off the bench, and I don't understand it. And I don't understand how a team who played so well against London is struggling on 38 points after, 35 minutes of basketball.
That's a strange one to me, Dave, as well. After
well, okay, maybe I'm overlooking the obvious. Maybe I shouldn't be saying they're struggling. Let's play homage to the fact that the Eagles have made them struggle.
Well, I know Noella Cachero, even when the Eagles were winning those games, they were scoring a lot of points, and she still wasn't very happy about the defense. She's got to be happy about her defense tonight.
I'll say.
Nat Lewis. Oh, it didn't give a great rebound by Chloe Gaynor, but she looks like she's lost the ball. Oh, unfortunate for the Eagles. Nat Lewis missed the pair, but Chloe Gaynor got the rebound, but Eagles just lost the ball.
They did, but what a coverage on defense.
Yeah.
They've knocked Gladiators broke out quickly, and they've been forced into another turnover.
And I'll tell you something else as well, Dave. The body language of the Gladiators right now is not great. When Elias threw that ball there and missed McGarrigan gave her a look that could have killed her.
Well, you know, there's no point playing scared, is there?
That's a foul. Not going to quite get away with that one.
Well, I'm sorry, I thought that was a terrible decision. hardly any contact, and that penalised the Eagles, who were in a good position to make an attack.
Second foul on
That's
Chantal Handy.
that's blowing your whistle for blowing your whistle's sake.
Nice pass in by Fernandez. Chloe Gaynor goes to work, can't make it. Eagles don't get the rebound. Sharp comes away with it, gives it to Lewis. Inside the last 4 minutes. And a great defensive play by Courtney Klassen.
The Eagles are just not giving them anything, are they, on defence?
Well, early on in the game, it was the other way around.
Defensive effort.
I felt it was the other way around. You alluded to the Eagles' poor shooting early on because it was Gladiators making them take tough shots. Now it's very much the other way around. Oh, well, there you go. That'll help you. On the buzzer, a 3-point shot by Robin Lewis is good. Or has it just been called? It was long 2 again. Wow.
Maggie there calling for the pick and roll.
Marina Fernandez is no good. That's going to be a foul on Net Lewis, I think. Chantal Handy is definitely getting to Net Lewis, and I think Noella Cachera is going to sub her out. Yep, just going to sit her down for a couple of minutes and let us cool down. The other things, Caledonia are now in the penalty. Elias comes round, but once again, Eagles defence is there to meet her. Well, the one thing I will say in this game is that the referees have been consistent.
Oh, absolutely.
And you can't ask for more than that. Yes, there's been times that's back court. They just haven't called fouls. That's fair enough, they haven't called fouls. Teams have got to get used to it. Both teams in the penalty, and Noella Cachero with 3 timeouts in hand takes one now and will go to an advert with 3:10 to go. So are we sensing the Gladiators come back or not, Dave?
Well, it's one of those times, you know, in one of those coaching enigmas, coaching, puzzles that you look at the scoreboard, you see you've got 3 timeouts left with 3:10 to go. Okay, fine. But you also look at the scoreboard and realise they've only scored 2 points in about the last 5 minutes. Why give them the opportunity to talk it over?
It's a good point, because I was going to say that before. Did Noella Cachero need to take any of these timeouts?
Well, we don't know the reason why she took it, and certainly, you know, she's still got 2 left, and I guess you could argue that, you know, the way they're struggling at the minute, it's going to take a miracle for them to get out of this situation.
So it was a turnover as well. Eagles this time get the ball over. Oh, another turnover. Well, I've lost count of the number of turnovers now.
Well, certainly at this stage of the game, to pull off this memorable win, the Eagles don't want to be making them. Good decision making, good execution is going to take them home.
Oh, Chantal Handy from the corner nails the 3.
Yeah. First
Last thing
Robin
Eagles.
Lewis, and now Chantal bailed them out.
Chloe Gaynor has
And
lost the
another
ball.
turnover has helped them.
And I think Noella Cachero might have to take another timeout now if the Gladiators want to score here. Handy for three. Well, why has she not been shooting the ball earlier? I just can't understand that now. She's made two clean as a whistle. And it's a 1-point game. The last three baskets by Caledonia have all been threes.
Didn't see it coming, didn't expect it to come, but it has come.
And Handy now up to 14 points.
And, you know, this is the second time for us, Jeff. Last night, Eagles 17 up. We were starting to get comfortable, weren't we?
Yeah, we didn't see that one coming. And
nope.
Chloe Guerra's on the line for 2 free throws here. Not quite clutch situation yet, but she could certainly do a knocking them down. Knocks the first one down. Eagles just got to be smart here. Got to be smart. Knocks them both down.
Well, I think it's time to mention one of the most impressive things when the Eagles knocked the Essex Rebels out of the trophy was how cool Chloe Gaynor was when she had that last shot to nail down the win.
Eagles need to get this ball across halfway. They do. Now they can just slow it down. Handy comes in there. No foul. Steal.
I think Noelia needs to call that timeout and get some space in. Eagles are playing too tight to each other. Too easy for Gladiators.
And that's an offensive foul.
That's helped.
McGarrigan, that's certain.
Come on, Nasri.
Offensive foul called on against the Gladiators.
You two need to go on holiday. You're getting the bus back with them.
Yeah, it's one of the. You can't say this, but I know the production crowd are saying behind us is that it's 3 Scottish referees in the Scottish team. But then when they come down, normally it's 3 English referees. So you can't say that at all.
Get over, get over, get over.
Once again, the press is on. Courtney Klassen breaks it fantastically well. Gives it to Katie Nolan. Katie Nolan in for 2 and 1. Eagles back up to 5. And I think the point you made, Dave, is becoming more and more apparent. Courtney Klassen is gaining her wings for the Eagles.
Absolutely. She's had a good game. Good second half. She's played with a lot of energy. She's contributed a lot to this Eagles, who should now comfortably go on and win this when Katie Nolan would knock it down, which she didn't.
Nope, and that just gives Gladiators a chance to push again.
Eagles, remember who's made those last 2 big threes, Chantel Handy.
Inside the
to
last
the corner
minute.
And
she's made another one.
Goodness.
Well, wow. How can you just suddenly come alive like that?
Keep your space in, Eagles. Keep your space in.
McGarrigan's going to level the game here. No, she didn't. Great defense by Justin Ack. 30 seconds to go. Eagles lead 51-49. Abby Wolf almost lost it. Kicks it out.
She knew who to find.
Chantal Handy this time is off. That might be, well, what's going to happen here? Maggie Justin Ack needs to get rid of this ball. 5-second call on this time.
And coach hasn't got a timeout. Don't call one. Don't call one, Noelia. Don't call one. Who am I to do? Be advising her.
Well, Luke Owen told her to call it off. Because what he's saying is if they score, then we can call it and advance the ball. That's what he was saying. Chantal Handy, Robin Lewis is looking for Chantal. Yeah, that's a trouble. That was a huge trouble. Now she can call that timeout. Robin Lewis, when she went for the ball there, all she wanted to do was find Chantal Handy. I don't think we've gone to a timeout, Dave. I think it's too exciting, so we can continue to talk. I'm just completely mystified how Chantel Handy had 8 points, didn't score at all in the third. Maybe it was a hand. Let's be fair to her. It may be she's just decided I've got to let it go.
It might be, although as I've said before, she she can score, but she's also a good distributor of the ball. She likes to see the offense flowing as well. But wow, those were 3 big shots. Add Robin Lewis in. That was 12 points.
Yeah, and that was we wondered where they were going to come from, and that's exactly where they come from. So, right, I'm going to put you back in the coaching spot
well,
here.
First of all, go to the front court.
Yeah.
I know there's a thought about back court, kill the game, waste time. Front court, so you don't get a turnover that gives them an easy score. And basically, the only way they can get the ball back is either a turnover from the Eagles, so good execution, or they've got a foul.
And they're in the penalty as well, don't forget.
That's it. They have no choice. Difficult to make 11.4 seconds into a long night. So, somebody make sure they're wide open.
And that's a foul. That is a foul. I don't think it was in sportsmanlike, but it was a definite big push.
Well, it's one thing for certain. Maggie Justinak's going to the line.
Yes, it's the bench. Wolf back into the action for the Gladiators. Maggie Justin will go to the line for 2.
Makes the first. That makes it a very interesting game now. Noella Cachero's called our defense. Can Justinak make the second? She certainly can. And a 4-point game with 10.3 seconds to go. No foul, Eagles, no foul. That's what the fans are shouting. And the ball is thrown away. 4.7 seconds left and the Eagles have the ball. Yeah, and she's called the timeout. You know, Chris Dodge says the ball, it was too late to call the timeout.
Let her foul you, Maggie, let her foul you. There you go.
And with no need to call a timeout now, 1.5 seconds left. Maggie Justinak just needs to make one of these two. In fact, I'm not advocating cheating, but you could make the first and miss the second. I'm sure she'll want to make both just to put the icing on the cake.
Cheating.
You tackle the player.
She's a professional, she wanted to make both. She decided to do it the other way around.
Well, this is where you don't foul a 3-point shooter, particularly if a 3-point shot goes in. Second one is good though, so that's a 5-point game, and that's it. That's all she wrote. Caledonia cannot, and they're coming off the court very, very quickly. What a win that is for Newcastle. That is a superb win, Dave.
Absolutely.
And deserved as well.
It was deserved because they stuck to the task the whole game. And defensively, they did a great job.
And they all huddled together to celebrate it. Caledonia waiting very patiently to shake hands. Eagles making them wait a long time. Are we going to go and shake hands? We are.
Yeah,
Took a while. Just watching them go down hand. Chantel Handy very, very fulsome in our praise for the Eagles. Well, what a game of basketball that was. You could never have predicted which way that one was going to go.
No, and Great win, no doubt about it. A great win. And
Team win as well, Dave.
good crowd, great win. Some excellent individual performances coupling together to make a good team performance. Yeah,
And it's one of those ones where you can call it a bonus win because they probably didn't have this one down necessarily for the win, but they've got it, and that takes them to 7-7 and possibly moves them up into 6th spot, especially after Durham beating Essex today.
Durham deserved that win. Good performance again. Been a good day for North East women's basketball.
Absolutely.
Might have been made even better because I watched a bit of Durham under-18's game against Lancashire Spinners, and they were up at half-time. So.
All right, well, let's hope they brought that one home. So, yeah, congratulations to the Eagles, commiserations to the Gladiators. I hope you've enjoyed it. Dave and I certainly did, and it's finished here at the Vertu Motors Arena. Newcastle Eagles 54, Caledonia Gladiators 49.
Just one bit of thing perhaps we can tell everybody. I believe I heard them, Dan Black announcing trophy game against one of the Riders.
Good point. So the next WBBL game is the trophy semi-final at the Vertu Motors Arena on Saturday, March the 18th, 7:30 tip-off. Eagles versus Leicester Riders. That's going to be a humdinger, and Eagles have got to believe they can go into that game and win it, especially after a performance like that. So yeah, everybody, if you can't get to the game, and you really should try, at least you can tune in and watch the game on live with Dave and I commentating. But for tonight, it's all about the Eagles, it's all about the win, and congratulations to them.